Tape 6, Side B. You are now going to hear a story utilizing all the dynamic vocabulary you have just learned. You should plan to listen to the story 3 times. The first time, just follow the story and its characters. I will read the story at a casual pace so you can follow easily. Then rewind to the beginning of the story and listen a second time. Once you know what the story is about, you will be better able to concentrate on the context, how, where, and in what situation the word is used. The third time you listen to the story, be prepared to read along in your workbook. Then complete the exercise in your workbook that corresponds to the story by filling in the blank spaces with either the actual word or one of its synonyms. Ready? Let's begin. This story is entitled, Register to Vote. 2 parties vied for the vote of one boy. Stephen was 17 and would turn 18 2 weeks before the coming election. Sally, Stephen's mother, was an inveterate Democrat. Her pertinacious character made her an effective activist. Richard, Stephen's father, was as immutably Republican as his wife was Democrat. But, being both laconic and uxorious, he kept his iconoclastic opinions to himself. One night at the dinner table, Sally gave her son a vulpine smile and asked whether he had registered to vote. Stephen came back with a winsome smile and politely skirted the issue. Doughty of spirit and indomitable of will, Sally was not the type to be put off by innocuous hedging. So, after a sagacious pause, she drew a deep breath and undertook her maternal responsibility. She began in an ethereal vein, describing the noble goals, intrepid accomplishments, and assiduous work of the Democratic Party. When her darling didn't respond or react, she looked bereft and switched to more censorious tactics. The Republican platform was inimical to the well-being of the unfortunate, she argued. Their tax policy was larcenous towards the indigenous poor of this country, while the middle class was oppressed by usurious interest rates. Their posture towards third-world countries was tyrannical. While Richard looked increasingly dour as his wife's defamatory speech progressed, he held his habitual peace. He had always shunned the obstreperous quality of popular debate, preferring to think his recondite thoughts and form his esoteric opinions in private. Sally was finally rewarded with a propitious grunt from her son. "I guess you're right, Ma," he sighed, hoping to close the book on this scabrous conversation. Sally gave her son a sweet smile, kissed his forehead, and started to clear the table. She didn't see the ominous shudder that passed through her husband, nor would she have guessed that a redoubtable competitor, long supine and slumbering, had been awakened. It was one thing to convert the masses, but to see his own flesh and blood bullied into submission by his wife's scurrilous rhetoric was too much. She could plant her pernicious seeds among strangers, but he would not stand by while she sowed her demoniacal lies here in his own home. His fey wife suddenly appeared bestial to his eyes. Her fervid manner seemed gluttonous, and her errant proselytizing struck him as gauche. With a minatory, "Just 1 minute, Sally," Richard struck back. The Republicans were certainly not Machiavellian, but the Democrats definitely were meretricious. They always promised facile solutions to complex issues. They thought they could tax away deep-rooted social problems, but their tax and spend policy was simply profligate. Their foreign policy was as surreptitious as the Republicans', only they preferred to deal with terrorists and their macabre agenda rather than freedom fighters. Stephen was stunned, and Sally was dumbfounded by the turbulence that engulfed the stranger before them. They would not have been more surprised had Richard started talking salaciously about carnal matters rather than passionately about political issues. The conversation was never finished, the debate remained unconcluded, and Sally never did find out how Stephen registered. After you have listened to this story twice, continue the audio portion of the tape to finalize your mastery of these words. Listen and repeat each of the following words and their synonyms. Let's begin. Errant, blatant, obtrusive, shameless, assiduous, hard-working, tireless, resolute, bereft, destitute, lacking, wanting. Bestial, brutal. Depraved, irrational. Carnal, sensual. Intimate, erogenous. Censorious, fault-finding. Caustic, slanderous. Defamatory, disparaging. Reviling, vilifying. Demoniacal, wicked, fiendish. Diabolic, dowdy. Brave, courageous. Intrepid, dour, forbidding. Severe, surly. Esoteric, profound. Insightful, abstruse. Ethereal, insubstantial. Intangible, metaphysical. Fervid, fervent. Frenzied, chaos. Fey, spirited. Animated, vivacious. Gauche, indiscreet. Insensitive, rude. Gluttonous, overindulgent. Excessive, unrestrained. Iconoclastic, dissident. Renegade, maverick. Immutable, invariably. Resolutely, unalterably. Indigenous, original. Inherent, aboriginal. Indomitable, unyielding. Unconquerable, intractable. Inimical, adverse. Malicious, unfavorable. Innocuous, mild. Gentle, tame. Intrepid, gallant. Gutsy, valiant. Inveterate, entrenched. Confirmed, lifelong. Laconic, uncommunicative. Reserved, taciturn. Larcenous, looting. Stealing, pilfering. Macabre, ghastly. Dismal, depressing. Machiavellian, wicked. Unscrupulous, iniquitous. Meretricious, garish. Deceiving, specious. Minatory, menacing. Ominous, portentous. Obstreperous, boisterous. Clamorous, tumultuous. Ominous, prophetic. Threatening, foreboding. Pernicious, deadly. Fatal, ruinous. Pertinacious, stubborn. Rigid, persevering. Profligate, lavish. Excessive, extravagant. Propitious, agreeable. Encouraging, promising sign. Recondite, hidden. Complex, intricate. Redoubtable, impressive. Intimidating, awesome. Sagacious, perceptive. Shrewd, knowing. Salacious, obscene. Vulgar, ribald. Scabrous, harsh. Contemptible, scraggy. Scurrilous, tough. Insulting, vituperative. Supine, spineless. Indifferent, prostrate. Surreptitious, covert. Secretive, clandestine. Turbulent, agitated. Violent, tempestuous. Tyrannical, ruthless. Oppressive, despotic. Usurious, exorbitant. Extreme, overpriced. Uxorious, doting. Devoted. enamored. Vulpine, crafty. Wily, guileful. And winsome, sophisticated, charming, beguiling. Now you will learn how to unlock the meanings of words by acquiring root word keys derived from Latin and Greek. From the common to the extraordinary, root words will permit you to easily decode thousands of words in the English language. Let's proceed. The root word ob means against or facing. Association. The blob landed facing against his face. Ob, against, facing. Object, literally to throw something against. A person or thing to which some action or feeling is directed. I object to your accusation. Oblique, slanting, not going straight to the point. The sergeant ordered the men to march oblique right. Obloquy, literally, loque, meaning to talk or speak, to speak against, verbal abuse or censure. I resent the obloquy that you are casting upon my reputation. Obscene, indecent in a very offensive way. The amount of violence seen by today's youngsters is obscene. Ob, meaning against or facing. Root word greg, G-R-E-G, means a flock or herd, a group. Association. The flock of sheep all had the same name, Greg. Greg, flock or herd. Aggregate, a total mass or amount brought together collectively. The aggregate of this country is staggering to the imagination. Egregious, the prefix e meaning out, greg, flock or group, literally outside of the group, or outstandingly bad. He was an egregious liar. Gregarious, living in flocks or communities, sociable. He was not gregarious and preferred to be alone most of the time. Segregate, to put apart from the rest, isolate. The scientist attempted to segregate the red from the white corpuscles. Greg, flock or herd. The root sequi, S-E-Q-U, or secut, S-E-C-U-T, means to follow. Association. See the sequins fall all over the floor. Sequi, S-E-Q-U, secut, to follow. Non sequitur, a conclusion that does not follow from evidence given. Your thesis is full of non sequiturs, and I cannot see how you reached your conclusion. Obsequious. Ob, meaning facing, sequit, follow. Literally somebody who's obsessively or sickeningly respectful, as if following somebody, facing them at the same time. Nothing is more disgusting to me than the obsequious demeanor of a person who is trying too hard. Sequel, what follows or arises out of an earlier event. I cannot wait for the sequel to be published. Subsequent, sub meaning under, following in time, order, or succession. What happens underneath. In subsequent lessons, we shall take up more difficult problems. Sequi, S-E-Q-U, secut, to follow. The root Acer, A-C-E-R, or acrid, A-C-R-I-D, means bitter, sour, sharp. Association. Noah got the ark rid to the sharpest, highest bitter, so no sour grapes. Acer, A-C-E-R, acrid, bitter, sour, sharp. Acerbity, sharpness of speech or manner. The meeting of the UN Assembly was marked with such acerbity that we adjourned for the day. Acrid, having a bitter taste or manner. He felt the bite of her acrid words. Acrimonious, having bitter words or manner. Their acrimonious quarrel could be heard in the building across the street. Acrimony, bitterness of manner or words. The counselor tried to mend the acrimony between them. Acer, A-C-E-R, acrid, bitter, sour, sharp. The root word capit, C-A-P-I-T, or cap, means head, chief, leader. Association. See the chief on the ladder, put the capit on his head. Capit, cap, head, chief, leader. Capitation, the levy of a tax or fee of such per head. The club's capitation was waived for members' guests. Capitulate, to surrender. At the end of 3 days, the enemy capitulated. Decapitate, to behead. The practice of decapitation was at its peak during the French Revolution. Recapitulate, to state again the main points of what has been said. Let us recapitulate what has been said thus far before going ahead. Capit, cap, head, chief, leader. Now let's review the root words you just learned. Ob means against, facing. Greg means flock, herd. Secli secut means follow. Acer, acrid means bitter, sour, sharp. Capit, cap, means head, chief, or leader. The root word corp, corpor, C-O-R-P-O-R, means body. Association. He laid the body on the corpet. Corp, corpor, body. Corporation, a group of people authorized to act as an individual, especially in business. We formed a corporation so that our business would grow faster. Corporeal, bodily, tangible. He was not a churchgoer. He was interested only in corporeal matters. Corpse, a dead body. Some of the first-year medical students fainted at their first sight of a corpse. Corpulent, having a bulky body, fat. The corpulent man resolved to go on a diet starting January 1st. Corp, corpor, means body. The root fort, F-O-R-T, means strong. Association. The fort is a strong place. Fort, strong. Effort, use of physical or mental energy to achieve something. It required extraordinary effort to complete the project. Forte, a person's strong point. I'm not eager to play this serious role, for my forte is in comedy. Fortissimo, very loud. The score for the finale was marked for Fortissimo. Fortitude, courage in bearing pain or trouble. He was awarded a medal for his fortitude in battle. Fort means strong. The root con, C-O-N, or call, C-O-L, means with or together. Association. The ex-cons are walking together with the collie. Con, call, C-O-L, with, together. Colloquy, literally loque, from to speak, a conversation, to speak with or together. I enjoy our colloquies, but I sometimes wish they could be more far-reaching. Congregate. Greg, as in the flock or herd, to flock together in a crowd. We all gathered to congregate in front of the police station. Consequence. Sequi, from to follow, a result produced by some action or condition, things following together. If you do not reverse your decision, you may have to suffer the consequences. Constrained, compelled, obliged to. You may not be constrained to say, but I want you to. Con, call, with, together. The root mal means bad or evil. Association. The mail contained a bad, evil message. It was from the IRS. Mal, bad, evil. Malcontent, a person who is discontented and inclined to rebel. The malcontent refused to pay taxes. Malefactor, a wrongdoer. We must try to bring these malefactors to justice. Malevolence, harm wished to others. He witnessed the brutal malevolence of the savages. Malodorous, bad smelling. The rotten eggs caused the trunk of my car to become malodorous. Mal means bad, evil. The root culp means blame. Association. I always gulp when I am to blame. Culp, blame. Culpability, placing blame on a person. Bartenders should share culpability for the destruction caused by the drunks they serve. Culpable, deserving blame. Corrupt politicians who condone the activities of the gamblers are equally culpable. Exculpate, ex meaning out of, culp blame, to free from blame. He was exculpated of the crime when the real criminal confessed. Exculpation, freedom from blame. His exculpation was contrary to all the evidence presented. Culp means blame. Now let's review these root words. Corp, corpor, means body. Fort means strong. Con, call, means with, together. Mal means bad or evil. Culp means blame. This concludes Tape 6, Side B. Before continuing, please complete the review in your Vocabulary Dynamics workbook. Thereafter, continue with Tape 7, Side A.